All right, what's up? This is Chris here. So I'm here at the electric micro mobility event hosted by the New York City Public Advocate's Office, and they just started their event. So as you see here, there's a lot of organizations. My phone about to die, so I don't give a fuck. So there's a lot of organizations here right now. Sorry about that, guys. So as you see here, we got
so you want to make sure that. But again, that you're not overcharging these devices.
Like New York, the Equitable Commute Project,
on the Department of Sanitation's website, nyc.gov/batteries, and there will be instructions on there on how to safely discard lithium-ion batteries. You do not want to throw it in the trash. It is illegal to discard these batteries in the trash. So you want to make sure that you are going on that website and you are looking at the different options for safely disposing of these batteries, of these devices. Again, we do not want to throw these in the trash, so check that website.
See the FDNY guy
we have
talking
here in the front as well as in the back.
How to do with batteries, educational,
in regards to safe use of these lithium-ion batteries and e-mobility devices.
Education is fucking trash, my nigga. I call for a straight ban of e-batteries, man. A straight ban for e-batteries. So this is complete bullshit, my nigga.
E-mobility devices
real facts,
on that website and translatable and printable.
But this motherfucker won't say anything about the Chinese batteries.
So I definitely encourage everybody to
it's those big, fat Chinese batteries. It's a problem, man. It's not. It's not. I mean, it's the facts. This is crazy, son. Like, even my boy's laughing, son. This shit is crazy. This is retarded.
Thank you, Captain Coleman.
This is retarded, son. Real retarded, my nigga.
Assistant Commissioner for Education and Outreach from New York City DOT. Please help us welcome Kim Wiley-Schwartz.
Now you got the DOT here. Like, come on, son. Like, this is crazy, son. Like, this is retarded, son.
Hi. As you said, my name is Kim Wiley.
Yeah. Sit this fucking parody, my nigga.
And outreach, which means that I do a great deal of work in this department. As we have welcomed legal electric mobility devices onto our streets, and so at DOT we're very committed to safe e-mobility and e-micromobility. So I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about all the things that we're doing. In addition to participating in the City Hall task force.
I'm calling for banning e-bikes, man. That's my proposal.
Many agencies
ban these shit. Ban fucking the big fat Chinese e-bikes, man. Fucking come on, man. This is the batteries, bro. What you should do, man. This is retarded, man, nigga.
Communications and education. But we are committed to taking our current infrastructure and making sure that we make the changes that are necessary to make it safer for electric mobility, and also to expand all of our services, create new and innovative treatments on the street, and then also work to do education and all of the outreach that we need to do to make sure that people are riding safely and have access to safe materials. So I just want to go through a few things that we've been up to lately. Of course, in 2023, we've announced that we will put in more protected bike lanes than we have in any other year. So we believe that by making protected infrastructure, that obviously our class 1, 2, and 3 legal e-bikes will have better and safer passage. And we are also doubling down on many of our shared mobilities. Of course, it's the third round of City Bike as we expand City Bike into more and more neighborhoods. And also, we have committed to and have fully expanded and made permanent our program of electric scooters, which I think some of my colleagues here will be talking about in the Bronx. In addition to that, we are finding places for what we call bike boulevards, which will make a safer space for those to share the street more effectively with pedestrian and cyclist priority areas, which we are looking forward to. If you haven't gotten a chance yet, we have a new generation bike lane that we're trying out. It's a 10-foot wide bike lane It's over on 9th Avenue between 17th and 21st Streets. We're starting to do some proof of concept. We're going to need to make more room for more types of mobility moving forward. We also are participating in an e-micromobility charging a pilot program. So we're doing a 1-year program to test different solutions in the market, and we hope to have those expected outcomes in the near future that we can offer, particularly to our delivery cyclists who are almost required to have electric micromobility in order to do their jobs. And then lastly, and this is my gig, so I'm very passionate about it, I'm doing a lot of work with people who are using electric micromobility. We have a great relationship with Los Deliveristas and some other groups to work with delivery cyclists out in the street, where they are doing their work, getting them this vital information, everything from what the good captain just spoke about battery fires, all the way through to getting their surveys and their opinions about what we need to do differently in order to make New York City the safest and most equitable place for them to do business. And in the back, you'll see members of my safety education team. Please stop by to talk to them. You'll see examples of all of the different kinds of materials that we've created in many languages, and we welcome opportunities. And please talk to them about places where we can set up and we can do the vital work of education and communications around e-micromobility. So thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with so many people working in this field. Thank you.
See, got a public advocate here. Public advocate for. Local public advocate. He's here. Public advocates here. So,
Thank you, Assistant Commissioner, for education and outreach at New York City DOT. Our next speaker is co-founder of Equitable Commute Project. Please help me welcome Melinda Hansen.
Good afternoon. I'm Melinda Hansen. I'm a cyclist. I'm a mother. I'm based in Brooklyn, and I'm also the co-founder of the Equitable Commute Project. The Equitable Commute Project is a coalition of 7 New York City-based organizations, including Transportation Alternatives, the HOPE Program, Empire Clean Cities, and New York University. We established ourselves with the aim of trying to expand economic access in our city through access to sustainable electric micromobility. Through this program, we found that by improving access to micromobility, we could pretty quickly double the number of trips that are taken on 2 wheels overnight in our city. We've also found that about 70% of New Yorkers who are surveyed are interested in trying an e-bike for their daily commutes. Our program is set up into 3 different parts. We have ECP Access, which is focused on advancing financial access, so through loan products that are available to people regardless of credit history. Currently, it's actually easier for most people to secure a car loan than it is to secure a lower dollar loan for a micromobility vehicle. Our partners at Spring Bank have launched a loan product in that space. We're also working to fundraise for and administer subsidies. We've recently received funding to administer a trade-in program. We're working in partnership with the DOT, with the mayor's office, with local bike shops to administer a trade-in program that will allow people who have more hazardous vehicles to trade in their e-bike for a UL certified bike and show how a program like that may actually work in hopes of inspiring policy change. Our second program is focused on green jobs. There is a huge opportunity for New Yorkers to take part in the micromobility industry. This includes jobs in lithium-ion battery handling, in recycling, in local manufacturing, and there needs to be more done to promote these jobs and make sure that New Yorkers are prepared for jobs in these industries. The third piece of our program is ECP Accelerator, where we focus on advancing sensible policies to make sure that people have safe places to ride and safe places to charge their bikes. We're working, of course, in close collaboration with a number of government agencies at the city, state, and federal level to figure out solutions to problems that support access and don't restrict it. So the latest example being close work with the Mayor Task Force and others around sensible policies to pursue standardization of electric bikes instead of just banning them altogether. So our agenda going forward essentially is we're focused on supporting a state level policy right now, a ride clean rebate, which would basically start to treat electric bikes with the same consideration that we're treating electric cars by providing subsidies to all New Yorkers interested in accessing an e-bike. And so everybody should write to your representatives to try and support that bill, which is currently stuck in the assembly. We're also doing some work to push for some of the federal funding from IJA, from IRA to support.
It's about e-bikes. It's like they promoted more like alternatives to e-bikes, like more like updated versions of e-bikes, try to make it safe for people and stuff like that. Yeah. So the big fat e-bike you see on the like the battery you see on the street that causes the fires. So they have an alternative to this, like a so-called better alternative to it. So you see the bikes behind that, they call that's the best better alternative to the situation that's going on right now. So that's what this is about. So over there you see the public advocate New York City, buddy Wyndham right over there. He's over there right now, you know. That's it.
Oh, that's what's the name?
Yeah.
Next we have, please help me welcome a formidable activist and advocate himself, a new writer himself, the New York City public advocate, Jamani Williams.
Let's go, Jamani! Let's go! So, yeah. So, public advocacy.
Well, thank you all for coming out today. Really appreciate it. It's great to see so many of our partners here working to provide safe, accessible, effective transportation options to New Yorkers. Thank you to Kasia, the entire infrastructure and environmental justice team, David, Sasha, everyone who has this broad portfolio. It is a broad portfolio, but it has strong links between its two poles. Micromobility is at the center of those two poles. It is clear that we need to incorporate a new modes and methods of transportation technology into our overall plan for the city, something we just have to do. I know people in neighborhoods all over our city, especially those underserved by public transportation, are really looking for solutions. Micromobility of vehicles can be a part of that solution, and so we need to work to ensure that their inclusion is safe, equitable, and accessible. They can help irrigate transit deserts where trains and bus lines don't reach. They will be instrumental in meeting the carbon reduction goals we all need to embrace in the coming years. They also put a lot less wear and tear on our streets. They combine easily with public transportation and public transit, gracefully solving the last mile problem that persists in communities and the country. They are an absolute game changer. And when the game changes, that means we have to change the rules and how we play it. We need to make sure that our policies and practices are keeping up with technology and are keeping people safe. I know there have been many concerns about the technology, the danger in particular around safe storage of these battery-powered devices. Those are real, and the tragedies are even realer. So we really need to figure this out together. But the answer can't be to criminalize people using this mode of transportation for work, or raising the price point beyond to make it impossible for low-income New Yorkers to ride. It has to be a supportive role, passing new regulations, yes, but ones that work within the reality of solutions and situations. That includes advancing efforts for safe storage, for equipping people with safer technologies, for enhancing and expanding bike lanes citywide, for building out the infrastructure needed now and into the future for micromobility. It means providing the information and resources needed to keep New Yorkers safe with their vehicles, whether on the streets or in storage. Today's event is about answering community questions, hearing community concerns, and developing solutions together. I thank you all for joining. And I always say, depending where, in true New York fashion, depending where I am is who I'm at. So I happen to be a driver as well. When I'm driving, I'm at the bicyclists and pedestrians. I'm on my bicycle. I already got a left hook from someone a couple of years ago. And so when I'm on my bicycle, I'm upset at the drivers and the pedestrians. And when I'm a pedestrian, I'm upset at the bicyclists and the cars. But we have to make sure that everybody can share this road. And I do know when I'm driving, I'm actually the most dangerous person on the road and can cause the most damage while being the most protected. and I have the most infrastructure on the road. That is something that we have to change so we can coexist together and people can be safe. We have a lot of modes of transportation that we're encouraging people to use. As you can see, there's very many different ways that we can deliver, that we can get around. It's really important that we work together to include these in our infrastructure. It helps with our environment. It helps keep people safe, helps keep us moving around, and it's cheap alternatives. And we're way behind other countries. And if New York City leads, I think people will follow. So thank you so much again for being here. Peace and blessings, love and Lord to you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have Transalps. I have a silly question. Cobalt. Do you know anything about cobalt?
A little bit.
You know, cobalt, I'll tell you, cobalt is one of the main minerals needed to make these batteries, right? 75% of the cobalt comes from the Congo in Africa. And we have little boys and little girls of color digging for that cobalt so we can have these bikes here. Nobody talks about that. You just talked about equity. My name is Raul Rivera. I'm a native New Yorker. This is a major.
So let me be clear. I think that's a very good point. That point, unfortunately, can be raised for many, many things that we use in our daily lives. So I'm happy to have that point for many of the things that we use. I don't know if we have to have it just for this, but there's so many things in our daily lives that people are getting abused to produce because of capitalism, in my opinion, and how this country uses it. So that's a different conversation that I'm happy to have with you.
This is a modern slavery. This is modern-day slavery, Mr. Jamani Williams. Modern-day slavery. That's what this is. You should think about the children in the Congo. 75% of the cobalt.
Next we have
collected at the Congo.
Lihia Guopa, who's Executive Director of Workers Justice Project. Please welcome her. And Antonio Martinez, the leader of Los Libertas.
Think about the cobalt. Think about the cobalt and the children. Remember that. Don't sacrifice the children. Jamani, you're always running. You're always busy. Listen, that's a valid point. It's a valid point, brother. That's a valid point, brother.
Mine was too.
How many cell phones do you get from a car?
There's a lot of things in the cell phone.
But that's